Batman issue 11, Tom King and Mikel Janin, of course, on the book. Before we even talk about this book, though, I just want to quickly get in a sentence. Connor, did you like the last issue of Batman?
Yes.
I just wanted to know where you stood. I just, compared to where me and Matt were last time.
I'm leaning more on your side. Don't worry.
That's both a blessing and a curse, really, isn't it? At the same time.
Yeah, I'm gonna push. If this is a tightrope, I'm pushing him off that side.
Oh dear. So this was, I thought, another very strong issue. It focused a lot more on Selina, Catwoman, as they're engaging in their plan, and we've got basically all of the teams sneaking throughout, or Catwoman and Dexter are sneaking throughout, Wesker, are sneaking throughout.
Wrong homicidal maniac.
Yeah, wrong homicidal maniac. Are sneaking through the prison to get in place, while Punch and Julie and Bronze Tiger are sort of making the more direct distraction approach. And that's kind of the gist of it. And it all kind of builds, and it's a lot of Catwoman sort of talking about her morality and like comparing herself to Batman. Lot of good sort of analysis in there. And it ends with the bombshell that she's at least seemingly betraying Batman and the team. Although I suspect it's a swerve, and there's going to be the whole plan. This is part of the plan, kind of thing.
See, I might agree on that if we didn't see Batman's reaction that no one else sees.
True. That I admit that's kind of going to get.
And the fact that she slashed Julie's throat.
I mean, it might be part of her plan to not actually betray everyone and come back.
Okay,
but,
sure. Okay, don't get me wrong. That does seem quite violent. I admit, right? But we don't know how deep that cut was. I mean, if this was planned, like, is this any more ridiculous than Batman planning to look injured in another situation? I don't think it is.
Yes.
Oh, whatever. Fine.
I'm just saying. It looked like the stakes were pretty high. Like, in the whole... That was her whole thing with... They're putting a needle in her arm, I guess. That's new. Like, I didn't know she's in the death sentence in Gotham. So this is her gambit to get out.
Actually,
she doesn't feel like Batman is... She feels like this is Batman's way of getting her out, but she doesn't trust the system enough.
Yeah. Actually, really, my favourite scene in this issue was probably the flashback to when he like catches her. Like, he chases her down, and she's like, it's like, you had to chase me, but you knew I had to run. And, it's like this whole duality to the conversation where Batman's like, you killed like 230 people. I need to take you in. There's no around this. Like, we have this complicated relationship, and I do care about you, but I need to take you in. There's just, I like that scene.
Yeah, I really love the colours in that scene as well. The yellow background it was making it gorgeous.
Yeah, the whole thing's. I mean, see, that first part of that scene where Batman's jumping down from the roof.
Yeah.
I really, really liked that. That was just a gorgeous sense of motion in that page.
Well, same with the sense of motion with Selina and Wesker going through the pipes, and the way that the art dictates where the dialogue is. Because you can't read it traditionally. Like, you have to
follow them on their journey. Yeah, it's really strong layouts in that sense.
Yep.
Yeah, that is really, really good. And even just that entire conversation again, it's Selina like asking him about his like monster, and is he Scarface, or is Scarface that's something inside of him? And for him it's like, no, he's a different personality. He's not me. Like, Scarface is just all I did. Well,
and this is what I think Batman's plan is with him, because they sent her. So Batman sends Wesker and Selina basically to get Psycho Pirate, right? So, but why send Wesker unless it's going to unlock Scarface later? Why is it him? Or maybe Psycho Pirate won't have an effect on him because of the whole Scarface thing.
Yeah, that's maybe what I'm thinking more, is that because of his unique kind of duality personality thing with Scarface, is that in some way that will make him either immune, or at least that Psycho Pirate won't be able to affect him in the same way. Like, maybe Psycho Pirate will only affect Scarface, and Dexter will still be okay. Or Wesker, sorry, I keep saying Dexter. Why do I keep saying Dexter? I don't know why I'm doing that. I do apologise.
Yeah, but Batman even says that Wesker is essential to the plan. He has to be kept alive.
Which, maybe it's because Wesker's a Resident Evil character, and I can't imagine anyone else being called Wesker.
Oh, you can call him Arnold. That's his first name.
Well, Joe, it's because I usually just call him Scarface, but obviously we have to differentiate here because he's not with
Yeah.
Scarface.
There's no dummy.
Yeah.
There's no dummy with him.
Normally I would just refer to them as a whole, but obviously here I have
Yeah.
to, so.
Yeah.
Which is probably why I'm not used to calling them by that. But no, I thought that Gillette was really nice. Bane's still intimidating as hell.
Yeah, it really is.
He really,
Yeah,
really
for
is.
sitting on a chair for the whole time.
Yeah.
Like Thanos in the Marvel movies.
Except he's
sitting.
surrounded by skulls, so he's cooler.
I don't know. I'm just pretty much let down by this take on Santa Prisca and Bane. I was expecting something else than what we got. So, like, I expected Bane to be more active in this.
I think.
Even though I knew it was a heist, so,
Well, obviously, I mean, this is like a 5-issue, 6-issue arc. Like, I mean, Bane, I think, will play a larger role. Although now it's clear that it's maybe more of a Catwoman story at heart than it is anything else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because she also narrated the last issue.
Well, yeah, and the whole point of the first issue was to get to where she was locked down.
Yeah,
Like, we got to introduce to the other members, but that whole issue was the journey.
Yeah, it was
going
building
deep
up.
into the heart of Arkham.
It was building up to her. So, like, this is very much a Catwoman story, which is cool because in all of the like solicits and promotion for it before the arc started, it was all, it's a heist and it's Batman Suicide Squad and they're going after Bane and like they hid that very well. So it's actually kind of a nice surprise that it's really about Catwoman.
Yeah, and it's called I Am Suicide, so I'm almost wondering if this is like her. It's almost like a kamikaze mission.
For her.
Because there's kind of no easy way out for her. Because it's either basically go back, work for Batman, because that's how they, excuse her, or she just ends here. So
I think when we eventually get a Catwoman book in Rebirth, and it'll come at some point, it just will.
Not the election night special. Stay away from that, people.
Yeah, not the election night special. Connor, you missed Matt's thrilling commentary on that issue.
I haven't brought myself to read it yet. It's there, sitting in my pile. It's
Don't.
there, but do I want to read it after this? What I've heard?
No, you really, really don't. I think to sort of, I'm really enjoying this art. It's been gorgeous, obviously, the entire time. Mikel Janin, of course, who had a lot of lead time, presumably because Finch was doing the whole first arc. Very consistent art, very beautiful. I'm loving the colours because you really get the sense that they're in a hot climate. You're really getting that feeling of being like in a warm, sweaty environment that's uncomfortable. And, loving all that. Bane being menacing. Book's gorgeous. I'm loving the psychology of Selina. I'm loving that it's focusing on her. And I'm excited to see where it goes. And I thought this was another strong issue. I didn't like it as much as last issue, but not by much. Like, I think the whole thing's been really strong throughout this arc.
I think I preferred this one over the last one, personally.
That's fair. I get it.
I'm sure Matt did, yeah.
Yeah, Matt obviously did, because he hated it.
I'm still not enjoying it as much as I did the first arc. So,
but you're not raging on this issue, so it's a step.
Well, no, because yeah. I got to the end, and I was kind of like, okay, like whatever. It's Catwoman betrayed him.
Last issue, it was like coming into this podcast. It was like walking around a minefield, like trying to just talking to Matt, like, right, I don't want to set him off, so I need to word myself very carefully. Just
Yeah.
But no, I'm really liking this arc. I will say I'm enjoying this arc more than the first one, and I enjoyed the first arc. Like I really was into that first arc. But I think the sense of style and the more personal nature of the story is just hitting with me a little bit more.
See, this thing, I think I enjoyed the story of the first arc more, and what that was alluding to for the future of the Batman comic. But man, this art it's just so much better to read.
Well, yeah. Well, and also Janin nails the expressions. Like the whole bronze tiger, you could tell he's kind of nervous. Like this is like one of the best martial artists in the DCU, and still before Bane without Venom, he's nervous, and you could just tell by his face.
I think the first, I love the idea that Bane's nervous about Batman because he doesn't have Venom. Like that's like a legitimate issue. But I think the first arc is kind of like was really pulpy. You had the plane stuff, you had like all this big superheroics kind of thing. Whereas this arc is more like you've brought in like a high established director to film it. You've got like a more assured eye for the visuals, and it's more. I don't want to say cerebral, but more, it's less pulpy and bit more weight in terms of what it's trying to do for the character dynamics. Not to say that the first arc didn't have any weight, but it just, I'm just comparing them.
Yeah.
And I actually...
Well, sometimes I think King's overthinking it too. Like the whole... Like, I don't know if I enjoy the relationship he's writing for Batman and Catwoman here, where they just call each other Cat and Bat. I feel that's weird.
A little bit weird to me.
That was a bit weird.
Like, and it seemed off. Like, I feel if they were that close, they would call each other by their names, not Cat and Bat. Although, once they got to Santa Prisca, that'd be a little bit different. Cause
code names and all that, yeah.
The thing is, while I did think that was a bit odd, I kind of excused it just so it could have the whole, the duality thing that first scene was playing. It was like, all right, I get they're so similar, but there's one letter different,
Well,
that's why I think he's overthinking it a little bit.
No, I don't think the point of that though was to say that this is what they always call each other. I think the whole point was Selina was being kind of playful and just calling him Bat, and he was just kind of returning it by, responding to her in the exact same way,
as awkwardly as possible, because that's what Bruce Wayne does.
Don't get me wrong, I do think it comes off as a bit weird. Don't get me wrong, it's like a weird way to just call him Cat and Bat, but
yeah, because King did this kind of stuff too in Grayson throughout the run, so you can kind of tell where Seeley. I think Seeley gets the interpersonal stuff a little better than King, but King gets these big, grand, like you guys were talking about the duality. This whole story.
The thing is, those smaller things there, like the Cat and Bat thing, it worked better coming from Grayson and his supporting cast. Like it felt like it fit those characters a bit more than these.
So, but that's just my whole thing. It's not bad. I just feel like he's overthinking a little and just still getting used to writing Batman. Because, like, let's be honest, Batman's probably the biggest comic character right now, like pop culture wise.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like.
As much as it pains Matt to say that, that's true.
It does, but I can't, like...
when Matt's saying it must be true.
Well, yeah, because again, I cannot like it and still know the truth. Like, but like, we got a Lego Batman trailer last night before a Harry Potter movie, and that's just it. So, where they did poke fun at Batman v Superman, which I lost my mind over, so that was great.
Yeah.
But... It has to take a while, because Morrison at this point, like, wasn't his big intro was a Batman story, wasn't it, with Arkham Asylum?
Well, that was a kind of standalone thing a long time before his run, so it's...
Yeah, but still, like, he took a different take on Batman from the beginning. So by the time he got his major run in the mid-2000s, he had already written Batman a bunch of times. So, and King, this is the first time he's really writing them. So, I'm willing to excuse that type of trying to fit what works and what doesn't. So.
I'll say this, I'll take Bat and Cat dialogue over what's in All-Star right now any day.
Well, yeah.
So, we can agree on that. I think for me, it's kind of like it's a preference of... Because I like both styles, but I think it's kind of like how, like when we talk about movies, Matt, I will watch something that's like a Refn movie or a David Lynch movie that's more about these themes and visuals, and it's exploring ideas without just telling a straight story. Whereas to you, that's like hell on earth.
Oh, most definitely.
Whereas to me, I'm like lost in the dream, and it's not quite as abstract as that. Don't get me wrong, it's not, but it's kind of that thing where this is just such like a beautiful, like a story of these characters and Catwoman's like psychology that I don't know. I'm just really into it.
Well, that's good. I'm glad, because it take it from someone that had to read Lobdell's Superman for over a year.
Need is not the word that you should be using in that sentence.
Yeah, so because I couldn't not. It didn't make sense not to read Superman. So like, it's always good when a writer is hitting your favorite character in ways that you like. So.